I'm already mad. Like I was all ready to go with it.
Yeah,
Oh,
did
this
you have something you wanted to
sucks.
say here, Ryan, at the beginning of
No,
the show?
I'm ready to record. Somebody kick it off.
All right. Fleric and I have been working on deciding on our alleged tie on who gets to introduce the podcast this year. So we're starting off with the communism approach, where it's our podcast intro. So this time around, I guess I'll take the wheel here. So with only slightly more ado than required, I guess. I'm just seeing how far I can push this, Ryan. It's tearing it apart.
I was just thinking to myself, I can't wait till 2026. I win this thing, and then we don't have to spend 2 minutes on this every time we open the show.
Welcome to Grand Sumo Breakdown, the unofficial sumo podcast for official sumo fans. This is Jake.
Fucking
This is Fleric.
This is Ryan.
And this is Mac.
And this is the Hatsu 2025 preview. We've got one
nice.
hell of a basho to preview here today. There's a lot of important things happening. Well, there's two very important things that could happen in Koto Zakura and Hoshoryu. Potential Yusho promotions should they perform up to that standard this basho. But before we dive into all of that, we are recording this on Tuesday, the 7th. So this is 5 days prior to the basho starting on the 12th. So as always, if there's any late breaking news, we're not going to be able to cover that. But I don't know, feeling pretty good about the information that's out there and pretty solid on who will be in and who will be out, at least the top tier guys. Before we dive into all of that, we would like to mention we do have a Patreon at Grand Sumo Breakdown. Everything that we receive on the Patreon goes back into improving the podcast quality and giving back to the fans, like a free t-shirt, every basho, and trading cards.
Or like upgrading our graphic design and our music that you just heard a few seconds ago.
Yes,
We've
absolutely.
had the same drum intro for like 7 years, so I figured it was about time to get a little upgrade. So yeah, we'll be spicing in some new upgrades in the new year, but that is directly because of the support that we get from you guys. So thank you.
Yes, very much all appreciated. You could sign up at 3 different levels. The $1 friend of the show, you get a compliment upon sign up, and once during every basho after sign up, it also gets you access to the Grand Sumo Breakdown Discord. It might take a month for you to get the link to the Discord channel, depending on if Patreon is giving me notifications or not. But you know what? We got it figured out. So to the 4 or 5 people who got in there today, you're welcome.
Yeah, and thank you for your patience.
Mostly that. We have a $2 card collector level. You get everything in the $1 tier, plus the ability to receive a free trading card whenever we open up a new box. I know I still owe about 25 people a card from our last box opening. Very close to getting those in the mailbox, I swear.
And then I think we get a little bit of grace here, I hope, for it being the holiday season. But
yes,
we're kind of past the excuse. So like if we get to next basho, I think you'll deserve a little groveling. But I think that
yes. And speaking of the $2 card collector tier, we will have between this episode and the next episode 2025 Series 1 to open. Those always come out in January based on the November Bansuke. So we will have a brand new set to open between bashos. And we also have a $3 BFF of the show tier. Basically, it gets you everything in the $2 tier. And then you just like us more, so you give us an extra $1. that's about the benefit of the BFF of the show.
It used to be that we would be bloodbound to answer any question requested of us by a $3 patron. But like,
we just do that.
We just kind of do that anyway. So.
Yeah, we do that anyway.
We'll figure something out someday.
It felt like false advertising to say that you have to do that to get us to answer. We'll answer whatever.
Yeah.
It's not like we have too much content to cover, you know? We always have extra.
And once again, any and all levels of support are highly appreciated. We're thankful for everybody that is able to support the podcast. Jake, why don't you kick us off with our Patreon compliments?
All right. First off, special thank you here to our new patron, Mateus Cordell, I believe is how you'd say that name. I bet you can make even the crankiest of babies smile. Oh, like that baby. Is Riley being a cranky baby? Doesn't want to go
Aw.
to bed yet? Ryan has a guest in his studio.
No, she's just being a sweetheart.
Aw.
All right. To Greg, if you were a cartoon character, you'd be the one that gets bluebirds to sing on your shoulders.
To Hisui, when you say, I meant to do that, I actually believe you.
To Mark Ortiz. Hipsters are probably jealous of how cool you are.
Michael Sizzler, being around you is like a happy little vacation.
Fred with a PH Groves, you could survive a zombie apocalypse.
And to all of our continuing patrons, but especially to Kawaii Azumaya, everybody gets knocked down sometimes. Only people like you get back up again and keep going. Thank you to verywellmind.com and the author Natalie Kogan for all of those stolen compliments. typically we're coming up with all of those on our own, but needed to outsource that today. So just want to make sure we sourced that.
We appreciate new people joining, but our creativity is finite. Hence it taking 4 of us to make this show operate.
Yeah.
Real quick update on amateur sumo, as always. Keep an eye on sumo411.com. But actually, these days, it's starting to become even better to just go to ussumo.org, the homepage of the actual US Sumo Federation. Now that there are some more competent people, more handsome, more competent, more technical type of people.
Edibo's doing it?
I was going for me, but no, that's a fair point.
Eric Gwen's doing it. Oh,
I heard it was Kelly.
Gizzard?
There's been quite a bit of turnover in the Federation in the last year, so their website's getting better. All sorts of organizational things are being upgraded. So yeah, ussumo.org is where we're going to start sending people. Sumo 411 was kind of a band-aid on a problem, but now we have like an actual doctor at work, if I'm going to continue this metaphor. Upcoming tournaments to keep an eye on. February 1st in San Antonio is the Mighty Eagle Team Tournament. February 22nd in San Diego is the 3rd annual SoCal Open. And most importantly, everybody mark your calendars for March 29th in Austin, Texas, 2025 Nationals to determine our national champions and determine who is on Team USA going to Worlds in the fall. What's up, Flair?
Nice.
All right. If I'm a sumo competitor wanting to compete in amateur sumo this year in the United States, what should I be doing this year?
Lots of Shiko.
Lots of Chico. But I guess what should I be doing this by the end of the month? Because something I did just a couple hours ago.
Yep, absolutely. If you are already a member of the US Sumo Federation, go renew your membership immediately. The bylaws of the Federation are really clunky when it comes to membership, but until we can fix that part of everything, you have to renew by the end of January in order for your membership to be considered continuous, which is what you need to work on if you want to vote or hold office or help make policy changes and things like that within the Federation. So yeah, go renew your membership. That's only going to get easier in the coming years. Like I said, all sorts of things are getting improved. But for now, it's exactly where it was before. Go re-register for 2025. That's all I got for today.
Before we hop into what's going to happen in the Hatsu Basho through the magic of editing, let's take a listen to what happened in the Kyushu Basho. And if you didn't hear anything there, well, this is awkward and egg on our face. So let's start.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming back.
Thanks so much.
Let's start talking about this Hatsu Basho, because this is going to be a fire tournament. We have Terano Fuji confirmed in for January. There's no doubt lingering. He is back. He has stated as much that he is in. He participated in the Yokozuna Deliberation Council Soken, which is basically just, it was a held behind closed doors tournament. Practice that pitted the Ozeki and Yokozuna against each other. Just for review of the YDC and the chairman of the JSA. And in that training session, Teruno Fuji went 3-4 against Ono Sato. These were his first practice matches during the training session, so got quite a bit of ring rust there and still trying to get into shape. So I wouldn't read too much into that 3-4 record. We do have some comments from Teruno Fuji. He said, "It was as usual, but I may have a few things I need to fix, like how to use my weight to my advantage." When asked about his condition, he said, "I'm getting there. Diabetes? It's not like it's not there." And he said, "I am able now to train with the Ozeki, and I guess I will be upping the pace now." Chairman Hakaku had a little bit more positive things to say about Teruno Fuji's.
That was not super radiating with confidence.
Chairman of the JSA, Hakaku, said, "It feels like he's getting back on track. He just needs a little more time. He has 10 Yushos under his belt, so he's obviously good. He uses his left hand well. His weight is a factor. The rest is the number of matches. Can he do that many training matches before the tournament? If he stays active until the final day, it will put pressure on the Ozeki camp. He's almost there." So, Fleric.
Yeah, that's iffy too.
Teruno Fuji has not competed on the doyo since day 15 of the July tournament. He's coming in with about 5.5 months of rest. What are your expectations for an almost 6-month rested Teruno Fuji this Basho when he's going against a field of very hungry
Killers.
Ozeki?
I think rusty is the word I would kind of go with it for my expectations. But the one thing I would say about a very hungry camp or field of Ozeki is he's not going to face him till the end of the tournament. So he has a little chance to ramp up. So I'm expecting like maybe a little wobbliness in the beginning because he hasn't been training this entire time. He's been resting it up trying to actually get his body healthy, except for maybe the few times he tried to enter a tournament and maybe won one. That's probably over 6 months, I assume, when you gave me that time frame.
Yeah, he completed 2 full Basho in 2024, January and July, won them both. He entered both March and May and had to go Kyujo in both of those.
There you go. So I have kind of relatively low expectations. He might drop a couple matches in the beginning and might not be in the Yusha race the entire time, but knowing him, like he got the Yokozuna for a reason. I imagine regardless of whether or not he's going to be in the Yusha race, I think he's going to probably give the Ozeki a run for their money. So I'm excited to kind of see how that happens.
Yeah, the last time we saw Teruno Fuji in July, he started off 10-0. He was looking like, all right, this is going to be Zensho Yusho for him. But then he did lose 3 of his final 5 matches. One of those to Ono Sato, one of those to Koto Sakura, before he did finally beat Takanosho in a playoff. So with his likely final 3 matches in this Basho, as long as everybody stays healthy, it would be against Ono Sato, Hoshoryu, and Koto Sakura. Do we think he might have similar kind of fortune losing most of his final 5 matches in this Basho?
I don't know if the beginning is going to be like a cakewalk for him either, though.
Yeah.
I definitely agree that ending is incredibly tough. I think that
Very.
I mean, the cop-out answer here is that I think by the midway we'll see if he's actually back or if he's just kind of limping and just doing his best but not going to be in the Yusho race. But yeah, I mean, with the time that he's had off and the time that those comments are actually really, really worrying to me. The way that he's just like, I'm pretty banged up, but I'm gonna do my best. Like, come on, I'm
pretty sure that's been Teruno Fuji for the past 3 years, though.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just do not have the confidence here. I think like if I were in Mac's shoes and I was gonna get the first draft pick for our prediction series, I'm not taking Teruno Fuji.
He's done. He's over the hill. I hate everything. I just hate everything at this point. I can't love anything.
But yeah, the beginning matches that he's going to have.
That feels so weird to say.
Yeah, I know, right?
It hurts.
His opening matches are going to be against guys like Abi, Wakataka Kage,
Wakataka
Takanosho.
Kage day 1.
Is that going to be day one? Is it
That'll be day one.
Komusubi West is the guy that the Yokozuna will get first.
Yep.
I mean, he's got a great record against Wakataka Kage in their career, but like Wakataka Kage is in the exact opposite point of hype right now, and momentum.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have very low expectations.
I can't nod my head. I can't do anything positive for this.
You can. We don't need to bring out the hate yet. So part of Mac's resolution
worked out last year.
Part of Mac's resolution, embrace a little bit of hate in the sumo world this year. We'll get to that in a moment, Mac.
Later, yeah. Don't worry. We'll take care of that.
So Mac, if you can put aside the negativity, what are your thoughts on Teruno Fuji coming into this basho? Is he the favorite?
Well, let's see. I think he has to be. With the 6 months off, I think he's going to be perfectly well rested. Yes, there's going to be a little bit of ring rust, but he's had that time to recover. And as we've seen, even Teruno Fuji at 85% of his max power is still better than everybody coming up to potentially beat him. Now, we have seen the field get stronger. So Kotozakura obviously improved. Hoshoryu bust one out. Can he hold one? Can he put another one together? Maybe. We'll see. Onosato definitely coming up through the ranks, but I still have to give the edge to Teruno Fuji until I've seen otherwise.
Yeah. So
it's interesting to hear he went 3-4 against Onosato. So
yeah, but I'm still not. Like I said, those were his first practice matches back. I'm not going to put too much stock into those results. But yeah, it is a little surprising to see that he came out on the losing end of that. You're not wrong.
I think for me, despite all of my pessimism, the one thing that I would say is definitely a good argument in favor of Teruno Fuji being a favorite. He's the Yokozuna. He can sit out if he wants. The fact that he isn't sitting out means he thinks he's going to win.
Exactly.
So, like, if he thinks he's going to win, then I think that maybe I should be weighing that more heavily than whatever comes out of his mouth. If he's going to compete, that is all the talking he has to do.
Mm-hmm.
As we all know, listening to what sumo wrestlers say doesn't really get you a whole lot of information.
Yeah.
They're so forthcoming.
Let's real quick just answer how we think Teruno Fuji is going to do this basho. Do we think Yusho or Jun Yusho, finish but not in the Yusho race, or pull out? I'm gonna say I'm feeling real excited and giddy about the Ozeki, so I'm gonna say he finishes but outside of the Yusho race.
I'm kind of feeling that too. I'm thinking the Yokozuna Kachikoshi of 10 wins, and that might be about it.
How about you, Mac?
I'm thinking Yusho, Jun Yusho. I think if he says he's going to be in, he's going to be in.
And Jake?
Yeah, I think I gotta ride the pessimism train here. I don't think it's happening.
God, why am I the positive one again? I'm supposed to be.
It's your nature. We're trying to help you.
Yeah,
I know.
We're trying to rehab you in 2025 to be a proper hater.
Yeah, and once again, this is just going to show us. This is like the first time we're coming into a basho where, like, okay, we know Teruno Fuji is going to be competing, and we're not saying like, yeah, as long as he's still in it by day 10, he's the absolute favorite to win. We really have seen the level up of the Ozeki, and with the diminishing health of Teruno Fuji, right now we're just not seeing that he is absolutely head and shoulders the favorite to win this. So once again, congratulations to Teruno Fuji on his Zensho Yusho, his 11th career Yusho.
Yeah, well, here's a bit of perspective. The last time that he was on the clay, my son didn't even like monster trucks yet.
Oof.
Yeah, to
That's
me,
saying something.
To me, that's
one whole
like
obsession
35
ago.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's July. That's nuts. Like, yeah, again, he's competing, so like he must be confident.
Yep.
I'm not.
Let's move on to our first Yokozuna hopeful, that being our current Yusho champion, that is Kotozakura. He started his training for the basho in earnest on December 27th, doing a lot of matches against his stablemates. The first day that he had Sekitori visitors to the stable on January 5th, he went 25-5 against the likes of Takanosho, Daisho, and Gonoyama. Kintama. Those are all Rikishi that are in the Joy that he'll be facing this Basho. He decided to go up against them because he wanted to focus on fighting pusher thrusters and countering their attacks. But when it came to the YDC Soken, that was on January 6th, not as good. He went 3-10 against the likes of Hoshoryu and Ono Sato. He said, I still have a lot to improve. I need to focus on the content. He also said, it's been a while since I faced Makuuchi opponents, and even then, my body was not moving well. I'll just have to get in shape in the coming days. I'll do all in my power to get that promotion. As long as I'm in the world of sumo, I have the chance to take on this challenge, so I can only do what I can. Got these comments off of Sumo Forum posted by Kintama Yama. Kintama Yama added his own little commentary in there, basically just guessing that Kotozakura's like record and his comments. He's just saying like he's not worried about it, and Kotozakura is just doing what he needs to do to focus on the Yusho, and he's not worried about the results of these too much. Chairman Hikaku on Kotozakura's Yokozuna chances. He said if he does well. So it's not
Thanks.
it's well it's gonna be different when we talk about Hoshoryu. It is not he needs a Yusho to be promoted to Yokozuna.
Oh, I see.
So we're looking so he's definitely in the Yusho equivalent here, where he could go like 13-2, 14-1, get a Jun Yusho, and be promoted to Yokozuna is what it sounds like.
I like how you've gone so good at reading the sumo talk of if he does well.
If he does
You're like,
well.
So sumo equivalent is now on the table. We have proof right here.
No
Well,
hard
I
and fast
have a
rules.
quote regarding to Hoshoryu that might clear that up a little
Yeah,
bit.
I was going to say, if
okay.
you have contrast to a different quote in the otherwise similar situation, that makes less sense.
Yes.
So yes, we are raising the Yusho equivalent flag. We are going into that protocol.
I think we are officially raising Yusho equivalent flag for
All
Kotozakura.
right.
Gotcha.
And definition of that's essentially to get a playoff, right?
Not
And
necessarily
you
a
can lose the playoff?
playoff, but
I'd
I
say
think
a 12-3 junior show would do it, maybe.
I'm not sure if a 12-3 would. That would get him 26 over 2 Basho, which is, if you look historically, like 26 over 2 Basho is typically like the minimum for Yokozuna promotion.
Yeah.
But I feel like a 13-2 is a guarantee. I'm not sure a 12-3 would be a guarantee.
Sure.
Interesting. Because typically a
If it's-
13-2 will get you a Yusho.
I would
But,
love
like,
to do some research to see how many
Yeah,
12
I
and
was just
3
gonna
Junior
say.
shows result in a Yokozuna promotion, but Sumo DB is dead right now.
Oh, I
so-
died?
Again, yes. It came
Again?
back to life briefly, but it's dead again.
Resurrect it.
And I don't know how to use the Sumo stats page to find that information.
No, we've spent all these years getting good at Sumo DB queries. Yeah, I think that I was going to say the same thing. I would love to do a look back at the last handful of Yokozuna promotions and see if there's anything we can learn. But yeah, I would say at least from memory, it's not like a hard line. Minimum has to be a Junyu show, though. I would say. I think that's probably a hard line. As far as the number of wins, I guess I don't really know. But I think if he forces a playoff, win or lose, that's probably going to do it, in my opinion.
Yeah, the most
reasonable.
recent example being Teruno Fuji when he went 14-1 against I think a 14-1 Hakuho, right?
Yeah. So that one left very little doubt. 14-1, losing in a playoff. That's like,
It wasn't a playoff; it was the final match.
oh, you're right.
So
Sorry.
Hakuho went 15-0 and 14-1. So
Yeah.
He
they
finished on
said
his
that
own
is
show.
effectively a Yusho equivalent right there. So,
Yeah, a 14-1 Junyu show. 14-1 getting you the Junyu show is hilariously just
yeah.
awful luck.
Wow.
but yeah, that you're right. That one was a Yusho equivalent, but it was a very extremely good one. So I don't know. So I see that I'm the one getting put on the spot for the first answer of do we think he'll do it though? What
Do you?
I don't think so. I don't think
drop
so.
it.
I think I do think that he will get there in his career, and probably, in my opinion, this year is still very much on the table. But like, I don't know. I have my I have my hype in a different bucket for this spot show. And Kotozakura, I am skeptical. I wouldn't be blown away if he did it, I mean, I'd be blown away in the sense of awesome. We got a Yokozuna for the first time in a new Yokozuna for the first time in 3 years, but I wouldn't be totally shocked at it like it was a long shot.
All right. I won't put you on the spot right now because you said you have your hype in the different bucket, but I'm curious who you think the favorite is for this boss show, if not Teruno Fuji.
I am looking 2 ranks further down our outline here.
Interesting. So. I will wait patiently here.
Oh, it's a coming. But yeah, I don't know. I know that I know Koto Sakura, he won in November, and that's great. That's good for him. But like, yeah, I don't know. There really isn't a ton to go off of between these 3 Ozeki, but I'm just gonna stick with we'll get there.
Yeah.
I'll stick with Koto Sakura for now.
So I have been doing some research. Sorry to interrupt. Waka no Hana. I can't remember which Yokozuna he is. Waka no Hana, the 66th Yokozuna, was promoted following a 14-1 Yusho as an Ozeki, and then a 12-3 record as an Ozeki. But that 12-3 was a Yusho.
Oh.
So I don't know if a 12-3 June Yusho would do it, but we have seen the record combination of 14-1, 12-3 in that order get a promotion to Yokozuna.
So
Sure.
it is possible.
It is possible. I'm not sure if a June Yusho is possible, but definitely a 12-3 Yusho for Koto Sakura. He should be promoted.
Yeah, I think in my opinion, any Yusho would do the trick.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's not a Yusho, that's where we start splitting hairs, and it might be, is 12 or 13 or 14 what's enough?
Yep.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be a little bit more confident and say I think Koto Sakura is the favorite, simply because Teruno Fuji, I'm expecting a little bit rust from that guy. So I think he's the favorite to win the Yusho. I think he's the best Rikshi on the dohyo right now. So I think he's going to get it. I think it's going to happen. Welcome,
let's
Yokozuna Hoshoryu.
Yes, I was like, congratulations, Zensho Yusho Hoshoryu.
Man, we're just jinxing left and right here.
Oh, it's bad.
We'll finish going around the horn here. Jake is on Don't Think So camp. Flarek is Think So. Mac, what about you? What are your... Is Koto Sakura going to be Yokozuna following this basho?
Let the hate flow through you, Mac. Let the hate flow.
Yes.
No, it burns us. I would say in this case that Yokozuna, possibility for Koto Sakura, has a very high chance. I'm trying to temper that rage with some type of... It's not working. Anyway, I have no freaking clue.
Yeah. Per my 2025 predictions that we recorded 3 days ago, I have no reason to turn off from what I said I thought would happen this basho in that episode. So no Koto Sakura Yokozuna performance this basho, maybe later in the year. But I mean, I think easily 10, 11 wins, but I just don't think
It's going to be enough.
it's quite at that level to do this in back-to-back basho yet.
Okay. Do you think Teruno Fuji's the favorite then, or you think he's just Koto Sakura is not consistent enough?
It's a 4-way tie for favorite. I'm taking the easy way out on this one.
Cowards.
Yes, cowards. Honestly, just based on what I've been reading on how they've been training and prepping, I would say Hoshoryu might be my favorite, but based on the training reports before the last basho, Kirishima was my champ pick. So, take that for what it means.
You are on a real streak here, aren't you?
Yeah. So let's talk about Hoshoryu. He has been absolutely lighting up the dohyo during training so far. Couple days ago, he went 16-0 against the likes of Mitake Yumi, Hiradu Umi, and Go no Yama. The next day, he did 31 matches against his stablemates. So he's got that volume of matches. He's got the wins in those matches. And even at the YDC Soken, he was the standout Rikshi at that event. He went 12-4 against Koto Sakura and Ono Sato. Chairman Hikaku had very high praise for Hoshoryu coming out of that training session. Chairman Hikaku said, if Hoshoryu gets the Yusho, his promotion to Yokozuna is pretty much sealed. He said, I would have given I think he's throwing that in there for like an 11-4 Yusho possibility.
What?
So Chairman Ikaku said, I would have given Hoshoryu 100 points if he would have faced Kotozakura for 10 more bouts at the end. But he gets 90 points anyways. I wish he would have shown more. I'm going for that promotion zeal. A Yusho for him is absolutely a condition for his promotion, and that is the difference between him and Kotozakura.
There's what
Yeah.
you were talking about.
Yes. So,
Ah.
Mac,
Yes.
will Hoshoryu take the Yusho? And by taking the Yusho, will he seal his promotion to Yokozuna after this Basho?
Before I answer that, will you remind us one more time who did so well in Soken last time and caused you to pick them as a champ?
Well, it wasn't like a YDC Soken and stuff like that, but Kirishima was doing very well in the training. He was beating everybody he was going up against. But yeah, it was Kirishima.
Okay,
Not
so there's
quite the same, but yeah.
I know, but there's a little asterisk there, and that asterisk kind of jumps all over the place. Now, I'm not going to take away his 13-2.
Yeah, we just can't
previous
trust Brian
tournament.
with anything here.
Well,
No,
I mean, seriously. But anyway, a 13-2, nothing to laugh at for that. And I do love how much Hoshoryu has improved. He has gotten better. His bag of tricks has definitely improved. I love watching this guy in the ring. He's just too streaky still. And I know we talked about that in our 2025 prediction episode. I want to get behind it, but I need more solid performances. I need more double digits from him before I can say, yes, it's sealed. Now, if Chairman Hakaku is going, okay, he gets the Yusho, it's sealed, I will counter with, if several other people get the Yusho, I would think that a Yokozuna promotion might also be sealed, but that's
One other,
that's neither
but
here
yes.
nor there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like he's taking it seriously. I'll give it that. So, but I just gotta still give the edge of Kotozakura on the head.
And see, that's where I am, Flick. I would say Kotozakura, Terano Fuji, even Onosato possibly, but Hoshoryu, I'm like, I need more.
Yeah, so Hoshoryu, looking at, we got to take a look at how he's doing on day one. He did finally get that day one lost monkey off of his back in November. And looking at day one, likely opponent would be Kirishima. So depending on the form Kirishima is in, that could be pushover performance. It could be a struggle. But I do think I don't know how they do historically against each other. And once again, I don't
You're saying Hoshoryu and Kirishima?
Yeah. Do you know how to do like a comparison? Okay.
Yeah, you got to go to the individual guys page, and I don't know how to sort it, but you can, if you find the guy over on the match results column.
Okay.
For example, I found Kirishima on day 14 of last Basho. Their overall results are 10-9 in favor of Hoshoryu. That is a historically very even matchup. Yeah, let's see. Can I view them chronologically here?
And for just completion sake, Kotozakura would expect to face Takanosho on day one.
Yeah, I'm still not good enough at this to see recent history, but yeah, I would certainly take into account Kirishima's current shape a little bit when looking at that even record.
Yeah. All right. So sounds like Mac isn't sold on the Hoshoryu hype
No,
just
not sold.
yet. Need to see a little bit more. Like I said, I'm feeling good about Hoshoryu this matchup.
All right.
I want to believe. I want to believe. I still in my like list of preferences, it's like Kotozakura for me is 1 and Hoshoryu is like 1A. As to like who I want, if one can make the promotion, who I want. But damn, I'd be happy if Hoshoryu just came out and absolutely busted ass again and took this and got the Yokozuna promotion. I would love to see it. I'm cheering for it. And I think he's got the drive right now. I think he's pissed off that Kotozakura beat him in the final match last Basho and took that Yusho. He's been pissed off that he hasn't been able to get the Yusho. He used that to channel his form and get a good Basho last time. The training reports have been saying he's been doing just like a lot more straightforward sumo. He hasn't had to rely on the tricky throws and stuff at the end of a match in order to secure that win. So he's getting more consistent with his winning style. I think Hoshoryu is got a really good chance here. And honestly, I feel like I said, I think I like him over Kotozakura this Basho just because Hoshoryu's a guy that can be fueled by rage, and he's given himself reasons to feel that rage.
Do we know that?
Yes, he's been quoted. Like he says, like I do not want to talk about that last match against Kotozakura, and he says like
Okay, I gotcha.
he views them as rivals, and he wants to get there before Kotozakura.
Are you sure? Have you seen him off the dohyo? He has these adorable glasses. He wears.
That's
How
kind of what
can
I was
he be
going to say. He makes mean faces in the ring, but that's kind of the meanest thing he does.
Yeah.
And that might just be squinting because he's having trouble seeing without his glasses. No, I'm a little skeptical on Hoshoryu too. I think Max spelled it out pretty good, but yeah, that's good to hear that he is focusing on straightforward sumo. That is exactly the kind of development I would want to hear about in training, but it's still just training. You know, I'm going by what I've seen in the Basho. I don't know. His last 3 are 13 wins. Then before that was 8. Before that was 9. Not great. I'm not. Right. I don't. No, I'm pessimistic on Hoshoryu as well.
The rage will fuel him.
He will turn into the Hulk.
Red Hulk.
Wasn't he dealing with like a hip injury or some kind of groin injury or something like that?
Yeah, he
was
did.
That last Basho?
He did suffer a hip injury at the end of the Hatsu. Well, no, he had like a knee injury at the end of the Hatsu Basho of last year, and then he had to pull out of another Basho because
pulled
of
out
like
of
a
July.
Hip. Yeah, because of a hip.
Okay,
so
Nagoya.
Okay,
that's what we're gonna blame the 9-6 and 8-7 on. I'm glad you're on my side, Fleric, and you're with the Hoshoryu Yokozuna train.
I like the guy. He definitely kind of gives off like definitely the anger, like you said, and like the drive. And with the result, I bet it sounded like he just spent all of Christmas like still practicing the entire time. His kind of like why I'm taking from those results. While Kotozakura might have just been having a nice Christmas with the family, opening some presents, eating some like rotisserie chickens that were like packed as presents from other people, as sumo wrestlers do.
I want to live in the delightful fantasy that Fleric has concocted for these sumo wrestlers on vacation.
Another
for me, though,
Costco chicken. Oh, this is great.
This is really specific too. For me, like I said, I'm pessimistic, but I will say there is nothing I would love more than a double Yokozuna promotion. I'm just not expecting it.
No,
absolutely would love it, but yeah, I think the odds of either of these guys getting Yokozuna we've got the best odds for a new Yokozuna that we've had in a long time. Those odds are still not like a lock by any means, though.
No.
Okay. So, how do people feel about the double Yokozuna promotion? Is it going to happen this Basho? It sounds like Hoshoryu has to win, and Kotozakura has to get a usual equivalent, right?
It is the pipiest of pipe dreams, I think. There's that being said, if they just do what they did last Basho
and change one match,
then it'll happen. So, I mean, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility, but I think it's completely out of the realm of possibility.
It feels to me like Ryan staying up late on day 12 of the Basho, like with these mathematical, like this flow chart of how do we get a 7-man playoff out of this result.
He's got a whiteboard on one side.
I don't want a 7-man playoff. I'm just saying it's the same type 14-0 on day 15. And I want them facing off, and I want Hoshoryu to win, and I want them both promoted to Yokozuna. That's what I want.
I'm just saying that's the same sort of energy that Ryan gets when he breaks out the corkboard and the red twine.
If we get Ono Sato, Hoshoryu, and Kotozakura all at 13-2 in a playoff, then we could theoretically get both Hoshoryu and Kotozakura up to Yokozuna after this Basho. Ono Sato gets that Yusho equivalent this Basho, gets a Yusho in the next Basho, boom, for Yokozuna.
No, I think, I think the March.
That's the dream. That's the dream.
I think we need to put all our eggs in the March basket here. Ono Sato, well, I mean, he's our next topic anyways, and the guy who I've been saving my hype for, I think he's going to win this one. But if Hoshoryu and Kotozakura come in right behind him, and Ono Sato wins, then we have 3 promotions on the table for March.
Okay. Ono Sato takes it this time.
Yes.
But I feel like if Koto Sakura were to get like close enough where if he does, so we can make it
Onosato
happen.
15-0.
We need to think about it, but
Yeah.
we'll make it happen.
Onosato
Wait.
15-0. Koto Sakura and Hoshoryu both 13-2, for example. At
But I feel like if Koto Sakura gets 13-2, he's up to Yokozuna already.
that's
So this
well,
one-
if Onosato's 15 and he's at 13, they might not view that as a Yusho equivalent.
It might be too far. Maybe.
It needs to be a really bad Yusho equivalent.
I don't know. Let's
him
go
to
back
not
to
get promoted
Chairman
this time.
Hakaku's words on Koto Sakura. If he does well, 13-2 might be well.
It might be. I hope it's
could
not,
be.
though.
Yeah.
I hope it's
For this
bad enough to
scenario.
not get promoted off of, but good enough for promotion to still be on the table in March.
Just extend it out just a little bit more. It's like, well, if he does well again. Well, if he
And
does
then
well
those
again.
three, hold on. And then picture the end of March, the last couple days, those guys rock, paper, scissors, and they're all 14-1 on the last day.
Okay.
3-man playoff.
Hoshoryu needs to
what?
take that one, though.
was gonna say,
Hoshoryu would
wait,
need to take that
Hoshoryu
one.
would need to take that one because
But-
he would otherwise not have any Yusho in this run.
But then Koto Sakura would be promoted off to back-to-back June Yusho, which I don't think
Yusho
that's-
equivalents, though.
That's a fair point.
Starting with a Yusho and then 2 equivalents. I don't know, man. That might do it.
All right, yeah. Let's
I-
pray for the
I want
three-way
nothing more in my
Yokozuna
life
promotion after March.
I like how we started this like, oh yeah, double Yokozuna promotion. It's the pipiest of pipe dreams. It's not going to
And
happen.
now
Unless.
Instantly started thinking about how can we make the triple Yokozuna promotion happen.
Yeah. There's a gimmick in my favorite Discworld book where these characters need to make 1,000,000 to 1 shot to slay a dragon. And they're like, 1,000,000 to 1 shot. That's a guarantee. That always works, right? So they keep doing things to make this last shot with a bow that much more difficult. Because if it's not 1,000,000 to 1 shot, the odds are terrible. But if it's 1,000,000 to 1 shot, that's a lock. I mean, I've read
always
books.
works.
1,000,000 to 1 shot happens every time. So they like climb on a roof, stand on their hands, like all sorts of different stupid things to make sure that it's exactly 1,000,000 to 1 shot. And I think that's the kind of math that GSB really needs to embrace even more than we already do.
All right. I do have some notes on Onosato. We know how Jake feels on him. He's winning this U show. So Onosato did okay at the YDC Soken, 9-9. He's the only one who got to fight against Teruno Fuji. And then he did okay against Hoshoryu and Koto Sakura. Yokozuna Deliberation Council Chief Yamauchi Masayuki had some quotes. It's going to start about Teruno Fuji, then it'll slide into talking about Onosato. So he said, Teruno Fuji was giving advice to various young wrestlers and Onosato during the session. He is aware of his role as a Yokozuna. I always look for that. I felt that Teruno Fuji was aware of Onosato being his successor. I think he thinks that in the end, it is Onosato who will take over from him in the future. Even when he was facing Onosato, he would say things like, it was a shame and he's strong. You can hear it when they're close. It seemed like he was sending a message to him. He had also said, this isn't a quote, but he also said that he felt Teruno Fuji had higher expectations of Onosato's future than that of Koto Sakura and Hoshoryu. That's projection on the YDC Chief's part. Teruno Fuji didn't say that. He just thinks that Teruno Fuji feels that.
It sounds like something he would have said, though.
Right.
So, Fleric, Onosato, he went 9-6 last Basho. Will he bounce back as much as you can after a 9-6 record into Yusho competing shape again this Basho? Jake thinks so. What say you?
I like how the YDC, which are comprised of like sumo fans that are notary, they do the exact same thing we do of like, this guy looks angry, so he might do well.
Yeah.
I feel like Teruno Fuji feels like Onosato is the true successor, so he's giving them good.
What do they have that we don't
advice.
have?
Right.
Yeah.
Ties?
Yeah,
Better
Yeah,
haircuts,
exactly.
I guess.
yeah, exactly. Or
Connections to the JSA?
Yeah.
JSA,
Yeah.
something
Oh,
like
that's a
that.
big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Sponsorship.
yeah, they are just like us for real, except when they say dumb things and they're old men.
Like for real.
For real, man.
For real. Anyways,
They're the
Onosato.
Ohio YDC. We are the Skibbity Riz YDC.
I don't know if that's correct or not.
We
but
are
I
the
definitely
Rizzlers.
threw up in my mouth a little.
We are
we-
are the Rizzlers.
It's been great listening
Is that
to
a
Grand
candy?
Sumo Breakdown. Let's
Thank you so
throw
much for
salt
joining
high
us.
and keep moving forward. We need to end this right now.
We
No,
are
just
the
kidding.
we are the Sigma YDC.
Oh, stop. God.
Quit it.
So Onosato.
I mean, it's one thing to go bad like middle schooler slang. We don't have to go into like manosphere junk. Dumb fact on Onosato, that's the kind of pattern recognition that GSB needs to get into more than we already do. He has never spent more than 2 basho at a single rank. He was in Makushita for 2 basho, Juryo for 2 basho, Magashira for 2 basho, Komusubi for only 1, Sekiwake for 2, and now he's been Ozeki. This will be his 3rd, so it's breaking the
No,
streak.
this will be his second.
Will it be his 2nd?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Learn
Okay.
how to read.
I feel like I wouldn't have been able to get as far as I did if I couldn't read at all. Regardless, the Ozeki hangover is done. Almost every time somebody gets promoted to Ozeki, they have a bit of a
Yep.
a bit of a hurdle they got to get over. And now we're past it. Now we're back on the rocket strapped to the back, straight to the moon. No brakes on the hype train. Any other tortured metaphors along this lines? You get where I'm going.
Yep. All right, Flarek, I missed. What was your overall thoughts on how Onosato does this basho?
I was trying to start, but then Jake
Okay.
just kind of ran into it, telling his thoughts.
No brakes. No brakes, Flarek.
No brakes. No brakes at all. No. I guess I'm gonna pump the brakes a little bit.
What brakes? We just established this.
Yeah. I still think he's young. He has holes in his sumo, and we saw that in the last couple of bashos. I think he can maybe compete, but he has to get lucky in a number of top matches. If the matches go the way he wants them to, I think he's going to do just well. But people that get him off his game, I think, are the people who are going to be able to beat him. And I think some people are really good at getting him off his game of how he wants to do sumo. So I'm not convinced he can exactly do that all the time now. So I think he might be in the race a little bit, but he's going to really struggle towards the end. So I think he maybe a double digit, depending how the breakdown comes down. But I don't think he's going to get a win this time.
Yeah, I'm feeling like 11-4 for him. Kind of my thought. What about you, Mac?
I'm seeing more of a strong 10-5 from him at this point. It's not really a full bounce back, and I think that this year will be Onosato's year. I just don't think this tournament is going to be his tournament. I think there's so much riding with other players in the game at this point that Onosato needs to take this opportunity to really solidify his sumo and really, like Flarek was saying, shore up those holes in his performance so that he can be dominant midway and toward the other half of the year. So I'm thinking, for me, I think Onosato has a shot at the rope, but it's going to come later this year.
All right. So those
Question,
are
Ryan.
Oh yeah.
Question, Ryan. Him versus Terunofuji. Who do you think is going to do better?
Ooh.
Because I think you said like roughly around 11-4. I don't think everyone can go 11-4 this basho.
He's the only one that I've said will go 11-4 so far. So what are you talking about?
Okay, I may kind of be projecting a little bit here. That's fine. That's okay.
I don't know.
Wow, defensive much, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yes, always. What I'm thinking is I'm just thinking like Terunofuji might not be good enough to might not be good enough to take down all of Onosato, Hoshoryu, Kotozakura, and in fact might lose to 2 or all 3 of them this basho. But I know better than that, so I'm going to say Terunofuji does better than Onosato this time.
Okay.
I have another kind of more
Same
nuanced
or
take.
better.
I have a more nuanced take. Head to head versus them. Who do you take, and who do you think will be more consistent in this basho?
So head to head versus Teru?
Teru and Onosato. Who do you think is going to do better? Who's going to win that match?
Onosato's won 2 out of 3 against Terunofuji.
Training match. Oh, are you talking about?
No, in
division match?
actual
tournaments.
bashos. He's
Okay.
He's either 2-0 or he's 2-1 against Terunofuji in the basho. I don't know. Like I said, I'm gonna start defaulting to Yokozuna, despite how I might actually be feeling, because I feel like that's the smarter thing to do.
Coward.
I feel
2 and
like
1 for the record.
we have shown with my Kirishima prediction last basho that my brain cannot be trusted, so I'm going to default to Yokozuna good, better than Ozeki.
Okay.
Except for Hoshoryu, whose fire and anger will propel him past the Yokozuna.
All right. To close off this consistency, who do you think is more consistent, Terunofuji or Onosato this basho?
Sato, I think, will be more consistent. I think Terunofuji will have a good hot streak either at the beginning or at the end, but then one of those he's going to drop 3 out of 5 or 6 or something like that. Is kind of my thought.
Okay.
Either at the beginning or at the end.
Okay. I got what I want.
Mac,
I appreciate it.
Sato thoughts.
I gave my Onosato thoughts.
Okay, it's been a
did.
while. I forgot.
I was gonna say, wait, I did.
We confused them.
We're coming around the horn.
Well done, Flerick.
What I appreciate is that we organically each chose our champ already.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Do you guys want to
Mac?
stick with that for the draft? Just call it good.
I'm okay if you
Let's
are.
find
So that
out.
how that would shake out. Mac would have Terunofuji as his champ. I would have Hoshoryu. Flerick would have Kotozakura. Jake would have Onosato. Are we good with calling those our champs, or
Should
do
we
we
just
want to go
skip
through
it?
the process of the draft?
I don't hate it, but I love that you're laying the groundwork for when we inevitably might change it later.
Yeah, I was about
call
to
us
say,
out
no.
on it.
Let's put a pin in that.
Oh
but
shit!
we'll
Mac
see.
has the first pick. He's going to throw a wrench into all
Exactly.
of this.
Yeah,
God
pick
damn it.
Hoshoryu.
If he
There.
does,
Ryan
if he
will
does, I'm
lose
picking
it.
Onosato, Jake.
You pick before me. I get last, don't I? Yeah.
Anyways, we can move
I
on.
hate you guys.
All right.
We
So
could have had
those are-
something nice.
Those are the big storylines here. Do want to highlight we have one Rikishi making his Makuuchi debut this basho. That is Tama Shoho. He is joining his stablemate Tamawashi in the top division out of the Kata Onami Beya. Tama Shoho, 31 years old, out of Mongolia. He is the 8th oldest top division debut of all time at 31 years and 9 months. So Tama Shoho debuted in September of 2011. He was not a tsukedashi of any kind. He made it to Makushita for the first time 2 years later in 2013. Then he bounced between Sandanme and Makushita for a couple of years. Then starting in September of 2015, he spent 7.5 consecutive years in Makushita before finally making it to Juryo in March of 2023. After making it to Juryo, he'd stayed there for almost 2 full years before finally making his top division debut this basho. He just misses out on being in the top 10 slowest rises to the top division ever. It took him 81 basho to make it to the top division, and number 10 on the slowest list did it in 85 basho. And as a little fun fact here, the slowest rise ever to the Makuuchi division is Hoshi Iwato, who took 115 tournaments to make it there. He was also the 3rd oldest top division debutant ever.
That is almost 20 years. 120 tournaments is 20 years.
Wow.
Oh my God. 19 years plus 1 tournament. All right. We're ready to start our Makuuchi career. Now, when it comes to chumps, I get the first pick, and Tama Shoho is looking
good.
looking appetizing there for that pick.
Jake, have you been able to do any analysis on his Kimarite and his fighting style?
Nope.
All right. Based on what I've seen from him in Juryo, he's going to be a fast kind of jump around guy, try to like catch you off balance. I think we'd put him in kind of like the pusher puller category, but he's very scrappy, fights hard, very energetic. I think he'll be a fun watch in the top division and could be an agent of chaos if his style of sumo works, or it could go disastrously for him if it doesn't, and people are just able to catch him and push him out.
I would say I think I might not put him in the pusher category there. His primary winning technique is yorikiri, but after that he has some throws and some pulling. So yeah, I think he might be somebody that comes to mind looking at this chart might be Chiyoshoma. Kind of a tricky grappler guy, not very big, but got some weird stuff going on with throws and pulls and whatnot. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see, but I don't have super high hopes. Somebody coming in this late, that's a really weird time to start getting better. Makes me feel like there's a little bit of RNG at play.
Yeah. Do a few quick hits here. There's a funny story that I just kind of, not funny, but just interesting to me story that I wanted to share. So there was a 276 kilo bluefish tuna. Can somebody do the math for me in freedom units
It's
for
like
how much
600
that
pounds,
weighs?
something like
Yeah.
that.
So there's about a 600-pound bluefish tuna caught early this year
Yep,
that
608.
sold at for 207 million yen at an auction in Toyosu. And upon hearing about that, Yokozuna Terunofuji rushed to a conveyor belt sushi restaurant in Omotesando to taste some of it. He said it brings good luck. The fish was so large the workers couldn't get it into the kitchen, so Terunofuji took off his hakama and helped them get it in, shouting "Yoisho" as if it was part of the Yokozuna Dohyo Iri.
That's
He
awesome.
said the maguro was delicious. I felt that I would be battling. The maguro was delicious, so that was good. I felt I would be battling in the Hatsu basho, he said. So he felt like it brought him good luck. Turns
That's
out,
a traditional thing. The first tuna of the year is extremely lucky and prestigious, so that's why people
Okay.
will pay for it. You said 200 million yen.
207 million yen.
The quick conversion there is knock off 2 zeros, so that's about $2 million. That is insane.
My God.
That is incredible.
But the idea, I actually, the only reason I know is I skimmed a brief article about this recently. I didn't hear the sumo connection, but yeah. So the very first tuna of the season is kind of the idea. It brings lots of luck. It's prestigious. It will even if you pay a ton of money for it, it's a good business decision because people want to, like Terunofuji, they want to try some of the first tuna.
1.3 million American dollars.
Oh, I guess yeah, it's a little off than it has been, but yeah, usually it's about a factor of 100 roughly.
That's incredible.
But yeah, that's I knew that it was expensive and I knew that it's a big deal and it's just kind of like a fun cultural thing that, people with too much money blow their money on. But yeah, I had not heard that figure. That's insane.
Not to
this
be
kind-
sorry, Flark.
This kind of plays into my world of sumo wrestlers who are gifted rotisserie chickens during Christmas. Terunofuji, he hears that this very, very big tuna it can't fit into the restaurant. He's like, I am needed. I
He
must go
drops
right
his
now."
child and runs to the restaurant.
That's such a TV moment too.
He's
not to
doing the
be-
good work.
Not to be outdone, Onosato also got to taste some of that tuna. He said it was delicious, and I want to prepare well and do my best so that I can start the new year in a good way.
Ooh, that's Yokozuna attitude right there. Eating some tuna.
That's right.
That's his successor, like he said,
I
or
like
like he
it.
might have wanted to potentially
I
think
was about
about
to say, he
saying.
didn't officially say, but might have implied.
His body language insinuated that he thought
I
Onosato was
see.
his successor.
We're turning into that kind of sumo journalist. Got it.
Yes. We've got the return of Haku Oho to the top division for the first time since technically September of 2023, but really he was at last in action in the top division in July of 2023. At that time, when he made it to the top division, that was the fastest rise to the top division, I believe, ever. He either tied it or set the record for the fastest rise to the top division ever. He came in, got an 11-4 record. He was matched up against Hoshoryu, who ended up winning that Yusho, but he was in the Yusho race up until the final days, taking home a couple of special prizes. Then he had the shoulder issues, which led to surgery, dropping him back down to Makushita, and he is back in the top division. What are our expectations for Haku Oho now that he's back in the top division? Like this guy was kind of like Onosato, Takeru Fuji levels of hype. Now that he's coming off of that surgery, how are we feeling about Haku Oho here?
I'm pretty high on him. I expect him to come back. He he had some serious issues, but like he's 21.
He's fine.
You have the strongest performance enhancing drug in the world in your body at that age, just youth. So I'm excited that I'm excited to see him again. Especially this last year, he's been with Isegahama Stable as they merged.
Yeah.
So he's had the best training partners that you could possibly hope for. Took a little while to get back through Juryo, but 2 of his 4 tournaments there, he had double digits. Or 2 of his 5 tournaments there, he had double-digit wins. So I don't know. I'm excited. I hope that we go right back to where we were 2 years ago.
Same.
Yep. I'm tempering my expectations. I'm gonna just kind of set my goal at like 8-7, 9-6, and then be pleasantly surprised if we exceed that. So
sure,
interesting.
I am just a little worried that it did take him 5 tournaments in Juryo to get back up. That's showing me that took him a while to recover from that shoulder, and maybe it's not quite all the way there yet, that he couldn't dominate it like he did when he was originally in Juryo, when he went 14-1 in Juryo to blast his way into the top division.
Yep, that's fair. I think that he's somebody that, if again, he's young enough that I can say this, but if he gets past those shoulder issues, I have every reason to believe he'll be up there with those other prospects of his generation here.
What's this tempered expectations, Ryan, of this year? It's like, I think Takeru Fuji came back and you're just like, yeah, we're going to maybe be in the Yusha race. This guy can take it all. But Haku Oho, who got, 11-4 with 2 special prizes. One, he was first in Makuuchi. But now you're just kind of like, let's maybe 8-7. It might be good. Let's temper expectations a bit.
Takeru Fuji came off of like a 13-2 dominant performance down in Juryo. I mean, it's Juryo, but he dominated it the same way he dominated it when he came up and then won the Yusho, his first Makuuchi Basho. And that's the kind of energy that Haku Oho came into the top division with the first time. That's not the energy he's bringing into the top division this time. Like I said, it took him 5 Basho to get through Juryo as he's still recovering from that shoulder surgery. He had to pull out of a tournament in Juryo, his second Juryo tournament. And so there was clearly something not quite right. So because of that, I'm tempering my expectations for him just based on how he's been fighting and how I think his health is compared to where Takeru Fuji was in the previous Basho. How's that for a logical and level-headed take?
That was too level-headed. I feel like most of your takes are like with the emotion, with the heart of what kind of side eye glance a Rikshi gives you, like with a whole show is filled with hatred.
Trust me, if any Rikshi gave me a side eye glance, they'd immediately be my favorite.
That's why he's liking Hoshoryu for this tournament.
All right, just a new tempered Ryan.
Side-eye,
yeah.
A new tempered expectation Ryan for the new year. This will be interesting. We'll see how it plays out.
If I can embrace the hate, Ryan can go tempered.
Let's not go crazy here, Mac. I don't think this podcast can handle 2 extreme personality changes in 1 year.
We can only find out.
All right, we've got a pair of brothers in the Sanyaku ranks. Up at Sekiwake, we've got Wakamoto Haru, the elder brother, and we have Wakataka Kage at Komusubi. Just real quick, Jake, who does better this Basho? Haru or Kage?
Wakataka Kage.
Flair, who you got? Who's doing better this Basho?
I'm going to
Wakamoto Haru or Wakataka Kage?
There's been some good media news on Wakamoto Haru. I saw him stare down a wrestler at some kind of pro wrestling event. I guess I'll paint.
You need to share that with me. Yeah, share that with me.
It was like some like badass wrestler was kind of like just walking around looking at the crowd, like looking very intimidating. And Wakamoto Haru was like sitting on a table right next to the ring, and he just stood up and stared down the other the pro wrestler at the same time.
Is Wakamoto Haru my favorite Rikshi now?
Yeah, Ryan, you need to do some research on this one.
Do some research.
Come back at the midway with like an entire new wardrobe of Wakamoto Haru t-shirts and stuff.
He was staring him down.
So I guess in the event of Ryan being level-headed and making logical choices, I'm based on that stare down
on him.
Wakamoto Haru is gonna fucking take it.
Oh man,
with gusto from Flair. Mac, what do you think? Motoharu or Takakage?
Wakataka Kage, of course.
Well, he's on fire. We've seen that he can belong in this rank. I'm happy to see him back.
He's back.
Very excited for him.
A lot of us predicted an Ozeki promotion for Takakage sometime this year. So yeah, makes sense.
Are any of them in Ozeki a promotion race right now?
Wakamoto Haru would be the closest.
Yeah, he had 11 and then 10 in his last two. From
Uh,
Maegashira
the-
3, though, so I don't know how much that
Yeah.
would count.
That I don't think an 11 and 10 from Maegashira 3 and Komosubi.
Yeah.
Maybe
Super
a
long
fif-
shot, but if he did
maybe a
if he did
15 and
incredibly
0
well,
if they
yeah.
were feeling nutty. But yeah, I think if he's got the 10 in Komosubi, if he can get double digits this Basho as well, then absolutely. And yeah, so before I was fully prepared to say Wakataka Kage, but now I think Wakamoto Haru's gonna stomp a mud hole in his competition and walk it dry. He's gonna give him a. He's gonna
Save
give
it
him.
for March when we get the triple promotion.
No,
we need
this is
somebody
too
to come
good.
up to Ozeki.
Oh wow, he totally does too.
Hold on, let me click on this. This is more important than.
I found.
We
the
do have to
photo.
keep moving on
found
this
the
one,
photo.
Yeah.
You guys can see what's the next on the list. Go.
All
you
right, we'll
start
talk about Kirishima while Ryan
Oh, that's
geeks out on
almost
this
too.
one.
Almost is like 7 feet tall. Look at Wakamoto Haru. He's just
He's just staring at
down. Get him, Wakamoto Haru. Yeah, you walk away, almost. You walk away, you little
You
bitch.
walk a
The
Wakamoto Haru away.
There it is.
You 7 foot tall behemoth.
If we
Kirishima.
could get, hold on,
Kirishima, who's
Hold on, I'm not done.
come on.
Go ahead.
All right, so Kirishima, he flashed back for a minute in
Kinda.
September, and then yeah, we went 6 and 9 from Sekiwake last time. Is he gonna keep going down, or what do you guys think? It didn't feel to me like there was an obvious injury or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So like it just seems like it's nagging issues, old injuries. I don't know. I have no idea what to trust with Kirishima after 8 wins, then 12 wins, then 6 wins. It's frustrating.
I'm betting on another losing record, and then he'll bounce back with some more wins. I think he needs one more losing tournament to get his head on straight.
Yeah. I would guess 6 or 7 is kind of my guess, but I don't know. Maybe he'll just come out of nowhere and have another 12. He's just it's frustrating because the only issue seems to be health, and it's nothing obvious enough for us to know how bad it is. I have no idea.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was gonna say, if I had to choose one way or the other for Kirishima right now, like, do I think he's gonna have a winning record or a losing record? I think I would choose losing record at this point. Like, I don't think he's gonna pop off for 11, 12 wins this Basho. I think he could get a winning record, but if I had to choose one way, I'm gonna say like 7 and 8, 6 and 9 again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I might be
Wakamoto Haru is definitely my favorite guy now. Flair shared another clip.
I'm watching the video of him bravely fighting the giant Rikishi.
Yeah. I've been loving the sumo memes subreddit. It's been a fun time.
Yeah.
For sure.
Anyways, I might be the sole voice of positivity for Kirishima. I'm not ready to give up on this guy just yet. I don't think he's I'm not confident he'll get double digit wins, like 10 plus, but I think he can get a winning record around here. I think he's going to stabilize. With the big question mark, the injury he's had is like a back injury, spinal kind of thing, which is kind of something hard to come back from, which I think you've said before, Jake. So I'm hoping if he's going to come back, I feel like this is the time. I think if he doesn't do well, I might start kind of not believing him anymore, but I'm believing him still. I'm hopeful.
You're generous. You're going to give him one more chance.
I'm a generous fan.
I had one quick Jurio note for you guys. Big Jake, our listener and slayer of Iowa sumo wrestlers, he heard us talking about Kaio a little bit on our predictions episode as somebody who is one of our picks to potentially make their top division debut. He texted me to remind me that Kaio is the highest ranked guy out of Nakamura Beya. They're the ones that are doing all the like modernizing of their training techniques. So I definitely am going to be keeping my eye on this guy because I'm hoping that if Kaio in particular is the highest ranked guy from that stable, if he starts having success and some of his other stablemates start having success, all of whom are let's see, other than Tomokaze, everybody is Makushita or below. If that stable starts doing better, I'd be interested to see if that trends to other stables as well. If they try different things in their training and try, modernizing, I guess would be the right word.
Do you have any examples of what they're doing differently?
I don't remember the specifics. I remember we covered it maybe 2 years ago, roughly, something like that.
I don't remember.
But yeah, I kind of want to dive into that again.
We should look at let's
Okay.
Jake, why don't you make a note? Let's circle back around to that on the midway if
Yeah.
you want to look into that and see what the training topics are.
I will add a
Or
note.
not training topics, but what training they're doing. I know it's
What's
not
the
like,
modernized form of training?
it's not as intense and stuff like that.
Oh, or recovery based and stuff like that.
Maybe.
Gotta get those fast twitch muscles for power generation.
You've seen their Tachi, man. They're fast.
Yeah.
So, I think that brings us to something I have been looking forward to all episode. We
Absolutely.
need to get Mac. We're trying to rehabilitate him from being nice. So I think
This hurts.
I know, right? So why don't we hit the graphic here? Let's hit the transition, and then we'll get right into our newest feature.
Real quick, I do want to say, want to give credit to @ChewyKen in our Discord. He's the one that kind of kicked off the conversation that gave us the idea to do this segment.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
We're very excited for this segment. So thank you, ChewyKen, for giving us the inspiration for this. With that, hit
Wait,
the
why am I
graphic.
excited?
All right. So what we have in store for you, part of Mac's New Year's resolution that he had on our year-end award show was he wanted to embrace the hate a little bit. So what better way to embrace the hate than to systematically choose his least favorite Rikishi in the top division, one that he will dedicate the year to hating whenever he has a chance through
Actively
a bracket.
rooting against somebody.
That's
Yeah.
right. Through a
That
bracket
just
of
feels
all,
weird.
all
My
42
skin's crawling.
top division Rikishi. They have been seeded based on their ranking in our popularity poll. So as you can see, Abi is the #1 seed as he was the most hated Rikishi in our
Yep.
popularity poll, meaning he's probably the most likely one that Mac will choose. But we'll see if there's any upsets along the way. So how this is going to work, it's going to take us all 3 episodes of the Hatsu Basho to
I don't
figure
He's
like
this
already
some of
out.
these
sweating. He doesn't know who he's going to pick in any
Oh
of these.
no!
What we're gonna do this time, we're gonna do absolute speed round through
yeah.
the first 2 rounds of this bracket. Just quick gut instinct on Mac's part. Which one does he hate more? And that's gonna leave us with a final 16. So when we come back on the midway episode,
The sour 16, if you
the
will.
sour
Sour
16.
16.
We will come back on the midway episode. We will go through the sour 16, get it down to a final 8, and then we'll go through those 8 as well. And that'll leave us with a final 4. Jake, I'll let you figure out what the equivalent is in hate bracket terms.
We got a little bit to work on. Sour 16 was just the universe just reached down and gave me a good one, and that's probably my best idea for the day. So
Yep. So we're still gonna have a lot of matches to go through on the midway episode, but when it comes to the recap episode, not only is Mac going to have his parody of I like big butts.
Yeah.
We are also going to go through.
I've been working hard on that one.
We're also going to go through his final 4 in his hate bracket. We're going to do much more deep dive on the 2 final 4 matchups, and then we'll have the final.
Oh, yeah.
And we will find out who is Mac's Rikishi that he is going to hate throughout the year of 2025. Much like I have Oho that I detest and want nothing good to
for
happen
almost
to.
no reason at all.
For literally just a storyline that Jake and I fought over throughout 2023. I'm sure Jake and Fleric have people they hate too.
Good old Chodai.
Yeah,
Probably
Showdown,
Kageyaki.
the hot garbage showdown
Yeah.
for Fleric.
And so,
All right, Mac, you
Let's
got
figure
those
it
hate
out.
muscles stretched out.
All right. Ready.
I kind of wanted to see which physical muscle he would stretch when I asked
Just roll
him
my
to do
shoulders,
that.
rolling the shoulders. We got it. We got it. We got it. We're doing good.
Hate is stored in the traps.
I keep all my stress here. I keep all my stress right up here. Anyway, continue.
All right, I'll play scorekeeper. Ryan, if you can drive the bus here, let's go rapid fire. Mac, we're just looking for gut instinct.
All right.
And so, Mac, if I will have a 20-second timer, so if for some reason you're having particular trouble, we'll be able to stop you and you got to say a name. So, our first matchup, it starts hard. Wakataka Kage or Midori Fuji.
Damn it.
Who do we hate more?
Midori Fuji.
All right.
How can you hate
Ura.
Midori Fuji?
Ura or Haku Oho?
Haku Oho.
Okay.
You do not hate on Ura.
Atami Fuji or Takeru Fuji?
Shit. Oh
Man, we gave you the layup with the Ura match.
I know.
And now we
Tommy Fuji.
All right. Chura no Umi or Hira de Umi?
Oh, Chura no Umi. You get the hell out.
Easy one. Tamawashi or Takanosho?
Tamawashi.
Ooh,
Ooh.
okay. Upset. Nishiki-gi versus Onokatsu.
You burn in hell. Nishiki.
Oh, Nishiki-gi. Okay.
That was more to Onokatsu because I don't like either, but the hatred for Nishiki is a little bit more. Anyway.
Fair. Takayasu versus Toki Hayate.
Takiyasu.
Whoa.
Do you know how many times that man has broken my heart?
Yeah, I'm wearing a Vikings hat. Like breaking heart is like part of the fun.
Hey, we got to speed round this.
Oh.
Koto Shoho versus Chiyo Shoma.
Koto Shoho. I love the Henkas.
Wakamoto Haru versus Takada Fuji.
Wakamoto Haru.
That's my favorite, Mac. How dare you?
He's going against Sakura Fuji, the man
Speed
with the
round,
perfect
Ryan.
ass.
I thought
You
we
do
weren't
not
allowed to protest
You
here.
do not disrespect that man's ass.
Pokudo Fuji or Tama Shoho?
Tokudo Fuji.
Wow, already in love with Tama Shoho. All right, so that's
the play-in round.
That's the play-in round. Now we've got a full bracket of what is this? 32 Rick G. This will get us to our sour 16 that we will discuss on the midway episode. So Mac, this first one's going to be tough.
Out the Hadeus Maximus a little bit here.
Oh, all right.
Make sure that we're still loosey-goosey.
We're popping. All right, we got it.
You don't want to hate too hard. You don't want to pull something.
This round's going to include everybody that got a bye in the previous round.
That's right.
So all of the heavy hitters are now in play again. And we're starting with the heaviest of hitters. Mac, Abi or Midori Fuji?
Abi, just get
Sometimes you got to go chalk. Sometimes you got to go chalk.
I got it.
Yep. Ichi Yamamoto versus Roga.
Ichi Yamamoto.
Okay. Oh, we're going to have Abi versus Abi at home in the Sour 16.
I know, that was going to suck.
Do you hate the original or do you hate the guy trying to be him?
The Abi light.
Yeah. Oshoma or Haku Oho?
Oshoma.
Okay. Keen Bozan or Atami Fuji?
Keen Bozan.
Tobi Zaru or Chura no Umi?
Damn it. Chura no Umi. I like Tobi Zaru.
All right. Nishiki Fuji or Teru no Fuji?
Nishiki Fuji, actually.
Yeah. Not surprising. Kirishima or Tamawashi?
Oh, two Mongolians.
Well, I don't like that. Why? Because if it was one Mongolian, the choice would be easy, Mac?
These two guys share a country of origin. Who do I hate
No, the
more?
problem is I usually like all the Mongolians when the rest
Time's
of
up, Mac.
Damn it.
Who is it?
Oh, Kirishima.
All right. Shodai or Kita no Waka?
Shodai.
Yep.
Yes. Good man.
Familiarity breeds contempt. Kagayaki versus Nishiki-gi.
Oh, Kagayaki.
Yep. We all knew Nishiki-gi couldn't get too far in here. Daisho versus Oho.
Daisho.
Wrong choice.
quick.
That's
This is the one that I hate, not you.
fine. Koto Sakura or Takayasu?
Takayasu.
All right. Ono
Heavy
Sato
sigh.
or Koto Shoho?
Koto Shoho.
Hoshoryu.
Jake, I thought you'd be happy.
This one's tough.
That one, yeah.
Hoshoryu or Wakamoto Haru?
Wakamoto Haru.
Okay, that's fair. You're wrong again. That's my favorite. How dare you?
That's a tough matchup.
Meisei or Mitake Yumi?
Mitake Yumi, no brainer.
All right.
Oh, that was firm. Keep that flowing.
Yeah. Gonoyama or Hokuto Fuji?
Hokuto Fuji.
What?
I'm sorry, did I stutter? Hokuto Fuji.
If Ryan gets angry at you, you're doing it right here.
Apparently.
All right, and our final matchup for today's proceedings. It's couldn't end on a more boring note. Endo or Shonan no Umi?
Endo.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Our final 16 Rikshi in our Sour 16. The number 1 seed, Abi. The 16th seed, Ichi Yamamoto. The 8th seed, Inoshoma. The 9th seeded Kinbozan. Chura no Umi with the 29th seed. Big upset for Chura no Umi. 13th seed, Nishiki Fuji. Kirishima with the 5th seed and Shodai at the 12th seed. We got the number 2 seed still alive in Kagayaki. Daisho is the 15th seed. We have a couple of upsets here. The 26th seeded Takayasu has made it through, and the 23rd seeded Koto Shoho has made it through. I believe our highest remaining seeded Rikshi, Wakamoto Haru, is still alive in the Sour 16. He will go up against the 19th seeded Mitake Yumi, and then our final matchup will be the 27th seeded Hokuto Fuji versus the 11th seeded Endo. Join us on the Hatsu Midway episode as we fill out the hate bracket Sour 16.
The Sour 16, the Evil 8. I don't know. I think we could do better than that.
Ooh.
Well, there's the Hateful Eight, but that could be copyright infringement.
Yeah, that will demonetize us on YouTube.
Yep.
As if we made any money on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So there is our first two rounds. Honestly, I can't think of a better gimmick, Ryan, for you and me to have fun with, because 1, we're being hateful.
Yep.
2, it involves bracketry, which is ooh, I'm all about that. And 3rd, Ryan, you've been wanting to announce seeds and matchups like that. I could tell
My
that
whole
was
life.
Yeah, it's what you were born
It
for.
was a dream.
All right. Well, I think it's time for our break, and then we will come back for the rest of the episode in just a moment.
That's right.
You're listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown, the world's #1 sumo podcast, according to 3 out of 4 hosts of Grand Sumo Breakdown. Keep an eye out for our preview, midway, and recap podcasts for every professional sumo tournament, and a host of bonus episodes in between. Help support us by joining our Patreon and spreading the word about our show. Every penny we raise is reinvested in improving our podcast. We also help run amateur sumo events and produce the American Sumo newsletter, which you can find on our website, grandsumobreakdown.wordpress.com. Reach out to us on social media if there's anything you'd like to learn about sumo, or if you'd like to try it yourself.
All right. We're getting back into things, and we're going to head straight into our champ and chump selections. Like we talked about earlier in the episode, we might already have our champs all lined up. I think, honestly, it's going to come down to who does Mac really feel in his heart of hearts deserves his #1 pick. So, Mac, who is going to be your champ for this Basho?
I gotta shake it out a little bit here. Oh, that hatred just...
Yeah.
Ugh. I did not like it at all.
Don't let it seep into your brain and affect your prognosticating abilities.
The dark side of the Force is powerful, but it is dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah, but I did like the cookies. They were good. I gotta go with Teruno Fuji. I'm going with my gut.
Now I don't have to scramble. Yeah, so I'm going to keep going with what I said earlier. I'm going with Hoshoryu.
Cleric?
All
You just wrote Haas.
I'm going to continue it down. Let's go with Koto Sakura.
Whew, okay, we did it. We did it, boys.
Good job,
Take
guys.
Ono Sato.
Nice.
We didn't needlessly create drama just to piss each other off.
No,
Heaven
that'll
forbid.
happen later.
All right. Jake, who do you want as your chump? Are we just gonna stick with what we talked about earlier in the episode? Will it be Tamashoho?
I think it's the low-hanging fruit. I think there's a couple other ones that I mean, screw it. I don't care if you guys copy my homework. I only have the one answer, and I'm going to pick Tamashoho. But, like, I don't know. Chiyoshoma jumping that high that quick seems a little bit sketchy. We got a bunch of guys coming up from Jurio that don't necessarily belong here. I am gonna take that. I am gonna take that easy pick, but like I feel like there is some good meat for you guys to fight over here.
Flair, who you got?
Definitely a whole lot of meat to fight over. Some very, very thick boys right
I
here.
chose my words deliberately.
I don't have the same hatred for this guy as you guys do, but I'm gonna probably go for the easy pick of Kagayaki as my chump.
Okay. I'm also gonna go pretty chalk here. I feel like Kita Nawaka has been in the top division 3 times. He's gone 5-10, 3-12, and 6-9. Seems like Kita Nawaka is probably a pretty good lock for a losing record, so I'll go with Kita Nawaka.
And I had the heavy jumper as my number 1 pick, so Chiyo Shoma.
This might be the most agreeable champ chump selection we've ever had.
Hell.
Have we grown and matured as people?
We just did a bracket of who Mac hates the most. That was and a video package that took like an hour of our time to help Mac hate things more. We're absolutely not growing up.
But we have matured.
I mean, our hate is taking more like elaborate forms.
All right. And with that, we will say goodbye to Mac for this episode. We will do the rest of this without you, but it won't feel the same. Yeah, go take a nice cold shower.
Oily and greasy. I don't like it.
I don't know. Can we really talk about maturing if Mac has a bedtime that he has to adhere to?
I
Had to do it, man. We'll see you later.
Sleepy. Oh.
I hate to say it, but sleep has been pretty good thing to get as I get older. I kind of enjoy it.
I mean, I as much as we make fun of him for it, like I'm gonna be in bed in like half an hour. But
oh yeah, I've got to be up at like 5:15 tomorrow morning. So this,
do you have to do another training on the other side of the planet?
I don't have to do a training, but I got to be on call. But yeah. So enough of that. So we also run a Champ Chump series for our patrons, and the tradition there is whoever wins gets to have a winning statement read on the podcast, and whoever loses has to give a loser statement of their own, preferably give compliments to the GSB crew. We deserve them. You're welcome for this podcast, by the way. So let's start with our winner. Yeah, be thankful. Wait, these are our patrons. They're already supporting the show. Thank you.
Yeah, Mac was right. We got to get this hate off. We got to shake it out.
It's too much. All right. So our winner of the Kyushu Basho for our patrons was Dire Gazebo. And so they left us with a simple haiku. Champ through sheer dumb luck. Kirishima I would support. Wife says Hoshoryu. He was the only person to select Hoshoryu as their champ in the entirety of our patron crew. And Hoshoryu obviously wasn't the best champ selection, but paired with his chump selection, he trumped anything that the only Koto Zakura picker had for their chump. It was a very heavy Onosato and Takeru Fuji champ pool last Basho.
No
I'm
kidding.
interested to see how spread out it will be this time.
The loser last Basho, though, I am very happy to say, was our very good friend Zombie Mommy. Nice to make an appearance on the podcast through shame. And I'm really top loading this one because I read ahead and it makes me feel bad. So the statement that we got from Zombie Mommy: it's okay that I'm the biggest loser and went from hero to zero. Oh yeah, that's right. She did win right before that, didn't she?
Yeah.
It's okay that I'm the biggest loser and went from hero to zero. It takes great skill to be both, and greater skill to do it back to back. Jake still got tripped up by my hoodlum, so I'm good. And by the way, little thick boys for life.
Yeah.
That's right. This loser, this worst picker of all pickers, also raised a child that beat me at sumo when I was trying my hardest. So I feel mixed.
Mm-hmm. And that child is still a child, so yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, if he beat me, he could beat the crap out of you, Ryan. So I mean, there's that.
Fair.
But I did actively try my best at doing sumo against a teenager, and he beat me.
I make it a life mission to not
To
fight
not get
children.
beat up by children, or not to
just-
fight children. You're
yeah,
right. That's
just-
a lose-lose.
That's kind of my morals. I feel like that I just live by. That I don't go around fighting children, picking fights with them. It feels wrong to me. Hey, you do your thing, but that's just not my thing.
Ryan, your story shall not be remembered in song if you do not go out and seek adventure and fight children.
You truly are the coward for not wanting
Yes.
to fight children. That is what we know.
If that's what makes me wrong, that's fine. I don't want to be right. I'm gonna say it. I don't want to fight kids. I'm sorry. I don't.
Hot take. Hot take. You need some oven mitts to hold that hot take, Ryan?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right,
Jesus. All right, what's next?
GSB belt, Jake. You got that ready to go, or are we just gonna skip it?
Well, fortunately, not a lot happens with the GSB belt in between Bashos. So the winner's belt is on Tomokaze. Tomokaze is currently in Juryo at Juryo 6. That belt is on its way up. It made the jump from Makushita to Juryo last time, so we are in good shape. We should be in the clear. This belt will keep
very clear of any possible matches that might end up with a Makushita Rikshi unless it really drops down the Juryo Bansuke.
Unless some significant, really screwy stuff happens. But yeah, so this will probably just keep incrementing closer to the top. The end is in sight for the third iteration of the GSB winner's belt. The loser's belt is sitting around the waist of Tamawashi. So this one was kind of frustrating that it got lower and lower and lower, and then Tamawashi managed to lose one match despite having a winning record and got promoted right back up. So this belt basically ended up back where it started at the beginning of last Basho. So
we'll get it down someday.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see where are the weird hangups that prevent a belt going down. The same way that Makushita Juryo barrier is kind of a hurdle for the belt coming up.
Yeah, once it gets to Makushita, it should fly down. It's just getting it to Makushita that seems like the problem.
Yeah, we'll see. Juryo has a ton of parity, so I think it'll bounce around back and forth down there for a while, but we'll see.
All right. I feel like it's pretty elementary, this Basho, but what is everybody most excited for? I mean, I'll start myself. There's a chance at a double Yokozuna promotion. So going to be polling for Kotozakura and Hoshoryu to win all of their matches except one of them loses their match against the other. Let's get a double Yokozuna promotion. And if we don't, we've got fully powered Onosato, Hoshoryu, Kotozakura, and about as fully powered Terunofuji as we can get. So that should prove to be a very exciting final 3 to 4 days if they can all stay healthy and in the Yusho race. So I'm just looking for the big boys to be big boys this Basho and not get any surprises. Let's just let the dominators dominate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what's your second most
Wakamoto
most
Haru
important?
Ozeki run.
Yeah, there you go. I think that
legit. I'm all in on Wakamoto Haru now.
I just bring it up because, like, of course, double Yokozuna promotion has got to be like the exciting possibility. But like, yeah. What else? What else we got?
Haku Oho. I want to see if, like I said, I have tempered expectations, but if he can come out 10 or 11 wins, then those expectations might start to raise a little bit.
Sure.
Ryan, are you now over Wakamoto Haru over Wakataka Kage now? Or have you changed on the hype train?
It's not impossible. Maybe.
I love it.
Very, very maybe.
This is great news. I love
At
this
the
so much.
very least, it's highly elevated Wakamoto Haru in my eyes.
You know what, Ryan? I will join you in this love for Wakamoto Haru. Let's
do it.
Join this hype train
Let's do
together.
the anti-Mac thing. Let's
not
do our
let Mac
love
bring us
bracket,
down.
but instead of doing a whole bracket, let's just love Wakamoto Haru. Let's do it.
It's great. Yeah. Why
love it.
do all this hate, when you can just love Wakamoto Haru?
You know what, Flaric? I'll be the generous one. You can take him as your champ this time as you want. You can switch out Kotozakura. I'll let you have Wakamoto Haru as your champ. I know how much you love him.
The wheeling and dealing. All right, we're back, baby.
Yeah, that is so generous, but unfortunately, no. I just the rules. We would argue too
That's
much
fair.
to try to change it at this
It's
point.
true. Yeah. Honestly, I think I need to avoid selecting Wakamoto Haru for champ or chump just because how he does, if he does counter to what I predict him to do, that'll make me hate him. And I just don't want to do that. My love for him is too pure. And I don't want that tainted in any way, shape, or form.
It's too pure with this singular data point informing my opinion of this guy.
Flair sent 2 videos.
Oh, okay. All right. You're right.
All right.
right,
What are you guys most excited for? Obviously,
I'm with you. I'm with you too, Ryan, on the double Yokozuna. On the top 4 in the Bonsuke, I just can't wait to see how they do. With the side eye at the Waka brothers to kind of see how they do against each other. Because I famous Wakataka Kage doubter. So I'm kind of enjoying this having a rival to compare against them, to cheer against.
it would be really cool if one of these bashos, after like Kotozakura, Hoshoryu, they've already cemented their Yokozuna promotion, so it won't affect them. Like a brother playoff. I know it's not going to happen, but damn it, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It would be really cool. I would say on the second level, the young guys, we talk about Hakuoho, but Takeru Fuji, he's moving on up. We'll see how it goes.
We did not mention Takeru. Let's talk about Takeru Fuji a little bit more here. Did you say nah? You're good?
Nah. Go ahead.
I mean, I don't have a ton to say about him other than I'm excited that he did well enough last time that he's still keeping the run going. 10-5 is somewhat of a disappointment somehow. But like,
well, when your only other top division basho was a 13-2 U show, in record-setting fashion, 10-5 is a little.
I mean, I know, but like, it's still ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I think So what I was going to bring up, besides obviously double promotion, that's got to be number one. Strong Sanyaku with the Waka brothers. My other storyline I wanted to bring up was these new prospects. So yes, of course, Takeru Fuji, Haku Oho. I still lump Hiradoumi and Atami Fuji as part of that generation, even if there's less flash to it, to those guys. I really want Atami Fuji to come back to the form that he showed his first couple bashos in the top division. He's really struggled with the plateau of the joy, so I want him to do better there. Hiradoumi, he got all the way up to Komusubi, so like we know he's got the stuff. I just hope that this one is a minor blip for him. But yeah, there's so many super promising young guys that I'm just jazzed that we have this much turnover, this much cool new stuff to check out. So
yeah. So looking at the Bonsuke again, just kind of seeing who's there. I definitely think at Maegashira 2, Maegashira 3, Atami Fuji, Gonoyama, Oho, like they're going to be going through a meat grinder. Will any of them be able to kind of rise above, get a winning record, and take a spot in the Sanyaku ranks should any of those Rikishi drop out? That'd be the first time for any of those 3 who've been kind of knocking on the door over the past year. Real quick, Daisho Abi, do we care? They are in the Sanyaku, so we should bring them up.
I'm willing to bet that at least somebody's tournament will be ruined by one of these guys.
Probably Abi. Yeah.
I mean, it's both these guys have a U show, so like they both could very well be in that running. I just don't expect it. But yeah, I'm willing to bet in the last 4 days one of these guys will ruin something good.
And then the last thing, I did want to circle back around to Takeru Fuji a little bit. What are we thinking wins for him? I was a little concerned last basho. It just seemed like his power wasn't all the way there, and I know I talked about it. It was him and Onosato. Like if their first power move didn't work, they immediately panicked and like, oh, I gotta pull you down, and then they got pushed out. So I'm hoping to see improvement from both of them in that, and I think we probably will. So I'm looking for another 10-11 for Takeru Fuji here.
10 is what I was gonna say. Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of feeling. Maybe a 9, depending, but probably 10. I think he's going to be moving up.
All right, so that is going to take care of our preview for the Hatsu Basho. We're going to have our midway episode coming out after day 8. Keep a lookout for the Sour 16 and the Evil 8 as we finish
we'll workshop
those.
that a little bit still. I think that we can do better than Evil 8, and we still need something for Final 4.
Yeah. And then we'll have our recap
Lousy
a day
4.
or two. The what?
Lousy 4.
Yeah, but that's no alliteration though. We need the alliteration. That's how it
Oh.
works.
I don't know how
Sweet
sports
16,
work.
Elite 8, Final 4. Alliteration.
That's the traditional one. And then the
Okay.
Tostitos sponsored national championship.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the way, we're sponsored by Tostitos now. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Oh yeah. They're my favorite corn chip.
They're the Tostitist.
Yeah. And then I'll tell you what we have coming up after the Basho for the recap episode. Those are our next 2 episodes, the midway and the recap. There's nothing else. So
It's not complicated at this
Yep.
point.
Yep.
Yeah, we've
It's
been
easy.
doing it a while. It'll come out when it comes out.
Yep.
Yep.
Bye.
All right.
Not
What are you
easy,
trying to
is
do
it?
here, Jake?
Not easy, is it?
Ah,
are
I
you
almost
trying to do
clicked
here,
stop
Jake?
recording. Sorry, Flerick. You go ahead. You
You
close
trying
this
to move
podcast,
in?
Mr. Dayokozuna.
We had an agreement on this episode. You open and I close. What are
Yeah,
you trying
my
to move
bad.
in my territory? We might
Trying.
actually have some beef now.
Oh, is Flerick going to be my most hated Rickshi?
Mm.
Am I going to do a bracket and Flerick somehow becomes the winner and our communist paradise of sharing is falling apart already?
Yeah, on the recap, we'll do a 3-person bracket of Jake's least favorite co-host.
Here we go. Obviously,
have to
I
be a
this is-
round
assume I
robin if
get the
there's only
first round
3.
bye on that one.
Top seed.
Yeah.
obviously this needs to be solved with a bracket. Anyways, let's close
Anybody
this out.
come to us if you have an issue, and we'll solve it with a bracket.
Oh God, yes. Try and slap
Any
us.
problem whatsoever, we'll turn it into a bracket. We'll figure it out.
Ryan,
Our solemn promise.
Ryan,
Yeah, Flerick.
Ryan, Jake, you guys shut the hell up. I'm trying to close a podcast here, and now, for Jake, for Ryan, and for Mac, I've been Flerick. Thank you for listening to Grand Sumo Breakdown. Until next time, throw your salt high and keep moving forward.